What is up, Kryptonians or Avatarians, fellow Navi? Not really sure what the term is for big Avatar fans, but either way, welcome to the video. So the trailer for Avatar Fire and Ash just dropped. It dropped this morning. Of course, it dropped a few days ago if you went to go see Fantastic Four in theaters. But now they've released the trailer online, so I feel like it's my civic sacred duty as an unofficial Navi here on Earth to talk about the trailer. So if you haven't seen the trailer, I mean, it's on YouTube. You can go check it out. If you haven't seen the trailer, you can come back here and we can talk about the trailer. If you don't really care, I mean, welcome anyways. It's nice to have you. This is not going to be a play-by-play of the entire trailer of everything that happens. I'm a little bit too scatterbrained for a play-by-play. I'm just going to talk about some shit that stuck out to me. And there was a lot that stuck out in this trailer. I've already rewatched it like 10 to 15 times. The visuals for this movie are absolutely stunning as they always have been. Everything from the CG to the visual effects, the cinematography, everything here is breathtakingly gorgeous. It's almost too beautiful to look at. And imagine God comes down and is like, hey, you guys want to visit heaven? And then God takes you up to heaven and he shows you this trailer. It looks just like heaven on a movie screen. That's like the best way that I can communicate to you how gorgeous this movie is. So many shots stick out in my mind, like the early one of Loak and Soraya, who are on their water beast. They're diving into the water. I think they went to the wreckage of the Sea Dragon. Don't know what they're doing there. They're probably looking for something that was lost during the whole, you know, Titanic-esque third act of the last movie. That shot of Courage walking on a mountain trail next to a volcano is so epic. So is the shot of him walking into the Ash Clan camp with like a bag and he's got his hands up. Like, the shots of Varang in this trailer, I mean, oof, oh my God.
Slow down, baby.
The shot of her like walking and her people walking and then the RDA and their like big, huge like mechs are there. Because the rest of her people are kind of like walking in a different way than Varang is. Varang is just like really confidently walking towards them. Yeah, I own this scene. I own this movie. Like that's how she chose to mother here. I don't think eggs on a tit is gonna cover how beautiful this movie is. I think breakfast on a tit is gonna cover it. I mean, this movie has all the sausage, all the bacon, all the eggs, all the biscuits, all the damn gravy. Then we get into what I like to call Grief the movie, because obviously if you haven't seen the last Avatar movie, spoilers for Way of Water, I guess, Neteyam, the oldest son of Jake and Neytiri, died at the end of that movie. And so you see a lot of shots in this trailer of the Sully family grieving in different ways. Like you see Neytiri and she still has on like the funeral stuff. See Jake has his arms around her, comforting her. There's another shot in the trailer of her with tears coming down her face and Jake is like right behind her, still being, you know, the emotional support parent. And grief can manifest itself in different ways. Like it feels like the first 10 minutes or so, I mean, they're obviously going to be grieving throughout the movie, I'm sure. The trailer did open with a shot of Loak, and I think Neteyam was next to him. I think they were riding on their Ikron, so this is either a flashback or maybe Loak is like plugged into the Tree of Souls. Maybe he's trying to connect with his brother. Maybe that it's a memory he's pulling up. I don't know. That's kind of depressing and sad, but that's why I think the beginning of the movie is probably going to focus on that. We see Jake versus Neytiri at a point in the trailer where they're kind of arguing. He's like, baby, we can't live with this much hate. And the way he emphasizes that, I'm just like, yeah, well, Neytiri, yeah, she's definitely gonna be wrecking shit in this movie. And I just love the way that she's looking back at him. Like she's looking at him like, who the fuck do you think you're talking to? I thought that was a great moment. We see Loak pushing Jake at a certain point and walking away from him. And I'm like, are you guys still having beef? You guys still have issues? Jesus Christ, y'all need to work this shit out. At different points in the trailer, you see like this baby, or you see a pouch that might hold a baby. Like, Neytiri is firing an arrow at one point in the trailer and she has like a pouch and you feel like there's a baby there. You see Loak and he's talking to Soraya, like they're sitting down or doing something and she's like carrying a baby and I'm just like, okay, whose baby is that? If I had to guess, it's Ronal and Tanawari's baby. It feels like it takes place too soon after the last movie for it to be Jake and Neytiri's new baby. I also just, I mean, it's clearly not Loak and Soraya's baby, right? And then we have a great moment where we get introduced to the air people, the air nomads. Like they have this big, huge jellyfish monster thingy. I don't know what that thing is. Very fascinated to find out. I'm curious at like how big of a role the air people are gonna have in this movie. Like, are they going to replace the Met Kaina as like the main clan that the Sully spend time with? Are they gonna contribute to the third act? I don't know, but the air people look interesting. They look fascinating. Like everything in Pandora looks fascinating. Same look that Kiri had on her face when she was on one of those big blimps and she's just looking around. I'm like, yeah, that's That's the look I have on my face when I look at anything in Pandora. Speaking of air, everybody saw that shot of like Jake hugging Spider and Spider not having a mask, right? It's like one of the first things I noticed when I watched this trailer in IMAX. I was like, wait a minute, did Spider have his mask on? Now that I've seen it 15 to 20 to 25 times, I can confirm, yes, Spider did not have a mask on, which is interesting because obviously, you know, humans, they can't breathe the air of Pandora. It's very toxic to them. Hence why Spider always had a mask in the last movie. There's that interesting shot where Kiri and the rest of like Loak and everybody else, they're like laying Spider down. Maybe he got some kind of big injury. We see Kiri is like, oh my God, Spider. So this kind of feeds into the theory that something bad happens to Spider and then Kiri uses her weird induced powers to like save his life, and when he comes back to life, maybe he just can breathe the air of Pandora now it just looks like he doesn't need a mask, and I just feel like that's interesting on a couple of levels, namely because there's so many, like, we don't know what the limits to Kiri's powers are yet. We also haven't seen anyone react to her powers other than, I think, Anang at the end of the last movie, and Renal. Like, she saw Kiri doing some weird shit in the water earlier in the movie. So there's this conversation that Kiri is having with Renal in this movie. Renal's like, if you can do something, you gotta do it. I don't know what she's referring to, but it just kind of feels like she's the one that's acknowledging, okay, Kiri, you have the power to make change across Pandora now. You have to take advantage of it. That kind of burden on Kiri. I'm interested to see how she deals with that shit. Also, of course, get to the Ash Clan, the fire people. They're the new antagonists of the movie. This is the first Avatar movie where we get to see the other side of the Na'vi. The Na'vi have always been presented like benevolent, like neighbors. Like they've always been good people, good Samaritans pretty much all around, even if they are a warrior people or whatever. This is the first time that we see Na'vi warriors that are actually like not friendly. Like they're kind of, you know, they're kind of vicious, they're kind of angry, and they use a lot of fire. Like you see some of them flying in the movie on some Akron, and they have like these fire pouches or whatever. They can tip it into the fire pouch and then use it to fire arrows. I think that's interesting. Forage, I obviously mentioned him walking into the Ash people camp. Like, it's pretty clear that he's gonna be spending a lot of time with these people. Probably spending a lot of time with Varang, which, you know, I don't blame him. Look at how hot she is. This just kind of adds to the complexity of Courage. I'm actually glad that Courage is sticking around, and we get to see how him being the ultimate hater just goes through different stages of evolution in every movie. He started off as strictly the RDA military complex stooge, and then in the second movie, you know, he kind of has this relationship with his son he's trying to rekindle, and he goes full Na'vi, like he gets an avatar. And now here we are in the third movie, and he's joining the Ash People clan. Now I do have a question here. Is he joining the Ash People clan for the RDA, or is he doing this of his own accord because he feels like this is the best way to get back at Jake and the Sullys and to kill them? Because the RDA, like, they're trying to colonize the entire planet for Earth, right? Do you think they'd really give a fuck about the fire people when they don't give a fuck about the forest people or the sea reef people? Like, they probably have some kind of beef with the fire people, right? There's also going to be a push and pull because Courage now has something personal to fight for. His son is probably going to be the linchpin around which all of his ulterior motives are going to be swinging. Speaking of swinging, did you see Varang in this trailer? The way she just walked into it, owned it, commanded, and was just swinging her dick around in everybody's face, and everybody had to get down on one knee and call her mother.
Goddess has no dominion here.
Like, she's actually out mothering Neytiri in this trailer. I'm just like, damn, Neytiri, fight back. Like, what's going on? How are you gonna let her out mother you? Varang looks so amazing. Her design, her voice, the way she's smiling when she uses that flamethrower, which I'm pretty sure she's gonna get from Courage and the RDA. The scene of her like playing with fire on her fingers, and obviously I feel like there's gonna be some parallels between what Jake went through with the Na'vi in the first movie and what Courage is going through with the Ash people in this one. In the end, this trailer was epic. It was amazing. It really makes me even more excited, and I was already stupid excited to see this movie in December. I kind of feel like all I need is this trailer, but I'm also a very weak, greedy man that needs more things in general. So I don't know. Guys, those are just my scatterbrained thoughts on the trailer. Let me know what you thought about it in the comment section down below. You got any theories, any speculations? Go ahead and put those down there. Please like and subscribe to the Superfan Show, and if you like what you see, tell me how you feel, and stay tuned to hear more from the Man of Steel. Peace.